Hi everybody. Here's an update for you. First of all, thank you everybody who's been so supportive of me during this whole thing. It occurred to me the night I made my first video that I needed help. I just couldn't do this by myself. I was completely out of my league, and I couldn't do this alone, and I am definitely alone out here. And it occurred to me that if I don't ask for help, I won't get any. So, and I'm not good at asking for help, but that's, just the text messages, the YouTube comments, and I am really sorry that I have not really responded to these YouTube comments. I read every single one of them. I read them throughout the day in the hospital. But I am, it's just really, really hard to get back to all of them because you guys are you're just overwhelming me with your kindness. And I just thank you all. I just love you guys all so much. You don't know what just a sentence or two has what it's done for me. So thank you. You guys have been amazing. And the Austin ex-witness meetup community has been incredibly kind and supportive, and I am just so fortunate. I'm so fortunate to have all of you guys. So first of all, thank you. I know that some people have asked for updates, so I said I would make an update video tonight. I didn't want to make one until I had some better news, but it's been almost a week now, and so I definitely want to let you guys know what's going on. Not much has changed. So he went into the hospital this past Thursday, and it is Thursday today. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. I hope you guys were able to celebrate that, hopefully with loved ones, if you have some that will celebrate with you. Nothing has really changed. He has been on life support for a week now. Couple of days ago, I think 3 or 4 days ago, I feel like I've been here for months. It's been a week. I feel like I've been here for a month. He did open his eyes at night. So what they did was they lowered his ventilator to the lowest setting, and they brought him slowly out of sedation, and then they propped his bed up so that they could see if he could breathe on his own and how well he was going to breathe on his own. And it was late at night, and I was the only one that was still there. So I got to see him wake up, and he had already been there for a few days. And he woke up to having tubes down his throat, and he's got tubes going into either side of his neck and all over his chest. He's got broken ribs because he's had CPR. He had 2 rounds of CPR, and so he's got broken bones. And they've got his arms strapped down to the bed so that he can't, because instinctively you're going to want to reach up and just pull whatever is in your throat, pull it out. So they've got his arms strapped down. And he woke up and he was terrified. He was so scared. I mean, of course, I can't imagine the fear. So he was really, really scared, and he was very aware for the first time, and he kept trying to get up out of the bed, and I kept holding him down, and I was like, please don't try to get up. Please don't try to get up. And I said, do you know who I am? Do you know that I'm here? And he nodded. He's answering questions, so I'm able to ask him questions. He can shake his head or nod his head. I asked him, are you in pain? No. Are you uncomfortable? Yes. And the nurses just were there, encouraging him to breathe. You've got to breathe deeply. You've got to try to breathe. And he kept gagging, on the tubes in his mouth. How horrible. I can't imagine. He mouthed to me what happened. He was trying to talk, but he couldn't talk, so he finally was able to mouth it in a way that I could understand. And I said, "Are you asking what happened?" And he nodded. And I just told him, "You got really sick at the hospital when you went, and you took a helicopter ride here. And now you are in a great hospital and you are getting better and everything is going to be okay. You are going to be okay." And I said, "Do you believe me?" And he nodded. And I told him, "You're so strong." And he shook his head no. and I said, "Yes." And I took his face and I said, "You don't know what you've been through. You don't know what you've been through. I thought I was going to lose you. Your body has been through a lot, and you fought to be here, and you are so strong. You're gonna be okay. Everything is gonna be okay." And he told me he loved me. And he mouthed that, and it really killed me. Just killed me, and I said, "I know, I love you too, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here." And he kept trying to get up. He kept trying to get out of bed, and I held his hand, and I said, "You cannot get up. You can't try to get up. Your hands are strapped down. You have to lay still. You've got to relax. You have to relax and just breathe. Just breathe deeply." And he didn't breathe well enough for them to take him off the ventilator that night. So I'm sorry, I'm holding my phone and I'm just shaky. So I'm gonna try to anchor my hands here. So the nurses told me they were gonna give him something to help him calm back down, put him back under. When you're on life support like that, you really have to be asleep. So I told him, "Okay, you did good, and you're going to be okay, and now they're going to give you something to help you calm down and just relax." And he shook his head no. He looked so scared. He didn't want to go back to sleep, and I don't blame him. But he was back to being relaxed really, really soon. And he was just kind of back to where he had been a couple of days before that, where he was just laying there. His eyes were a little bit open, but they were kind of unfocused and just staring at the ceiling. They gave him a fentanyl and that stuff. I don't remember what it's called. It starts with a P. It's whatever Michael Jackson was taking. That stuff that killed Michael Jackson. So they've got him on those two things. And so he just kind of calmed back down, and every once in a while his eyebrows would like knit together, like he's concerned or anyway. So after that, he's been pretty much asleep. They have kept him fully sedated for days. And again, I think that was Sunday or Monday. So he's been asleep ever since. Most of the witnesses that were here the first couple of nights, they all went home. And there's still some witnesses filing through. There's some people that went to my congregation when I was a kid that live out here now, and they've been here, and they're obnoxious. I'm trying really hard to be nice. I haven't made an idiot or an asshole out of myself. I have talked to every nurse that he has privately about the blood thing, and his numbers are good, by the way. So just so you guys know, it's not coming down to blood yet. Hopefully that won't happen. But the witnesses being shoved down my throat have been minimal since the first couple of days. Everyone had to go back to work, so that was kind of a blessing that they all left. And then day before yesterday, my stepmom was explaining to a cardiologist that came in, because basically, I guess his heart is very sick, and they think he may have a bacterial infection or a virus in his heart. Oh, and by the way, now his kidneys are shutting down, and he has a fever of 105 that he's had for 5 days. It's just one thing after another. It's crazy. But anyway, the cardiologist was there, and she was explaining to the cardiologist and the nurse about the blood thing. And she said, well, he can't have whole blood, but he can have blood fractions. And I guess the nurse made a face, or she rolled her eyes or something. I don't know. I wasn't there for that. So later on that evening, I was sitting next to my stepmom in the hospital room, and she was writing something. She was writing a letter or something, and it was a letter to the nurse, and it was explaining why they will take blood fractions, and it was just her and me in the room, and I was like, do I say something? And I thought, yeah, now's the time. And I said, what are you writing? And she told me about the cardiologist and everything. And I said, what if he needs blood? She said, well, and we'll just have to pray that he doesn't. And I said, okay. But what if he does? And she said, well, what do you think he would want? And I said, I know what he wants. I know he has a blood card in his wallet. I know what he wants, but it's also a conscientious thing now, and it's not a disfellowshipping offense anymore, and they can't disfellowship him for it. They can't. And his life is important to me, and again, I'm really sorry about my phone. I'm shaking, and I'm in a hotel room, so I don't really have anything but my phone. So I'm sorry about the quality of this video. I know it sucks. And I said, you know what? If it came down to it, I could just make that choice. Nobody would ever have to know that it happened. He wouldn't ever have to know. You wouldn't have to deal with it. No one would have to know. And I tried to be really diplomatic about it. And she was nice about it. We've all been pretty emotional about this, so I didn't expect her to lose it or anything. But she took my hand. She said, "Oh, sweetie, thank you." And she's an elder's wife, so I didn't expect her to follow through with anything as far as that conversation went. But I was like, okay, I had it. I had the conversation. And I also was kind of like, why are you writing this letter? What does she care what the nurse thinks? The nurse isn't going to do anything that the doctors don't tell her to do. And if my family tells the doctor no blood, there's not going to be any blood. So I felt like she was writing this letter to convince herself. That's kind of, and it kind of made me feel bad for her. Because it was to explain it to her, because it doesn't make any sense. So, yesterday, they had to do a biopsy of his heart, to try to figure out why his heart is so sick. And his kidneys are failing, I guess, because his heart is sick. I guess when you go through something like this with your heart, the rest of your organs just start to shut down. Also, he's developing pneumonia in his lungs. He's falling apart, because of his heart. So yesterday they came in to explain to my family, like, the risks of the biopsy, which they have to do, right? And by the way, the biopsy went fine. It was fine, and there were no abnormal. That we haven't got the results back yet, but the process itself was just fine. But they had to explain all of the risks. And they were scary, especially to us. We have no medical knowledge. So he said, I just want to make sure I understand, no blood, even if it's a life and death emergency. And my stepmom said, nope, no blood. And I just, that was my answer. That was my answer from her is no. Her answer to my offer for help is no. No, thank you. So I had my first real panic attack, and I just I stayed for a few minutes until she could sign the release, the form that says it's okay for him to have this procedure, and then I just ran out of the room sobbing, and I ran in the bathroom, and I just that hyperventilating where you can't breathe, you can't get a deep breath, and my vision went black, and I fell on the ground in the stall, and I just had to sit there, and I didn't pass out because I've had these before in these super high stress situations, and I was able to just regulate my breathing, and I was able to calm down. But after that, I had to go back out there with the witnesses, and my stepmom found me. She was coming into the bathroom to get me, and she said, "Do you want to go for a walk?" And I was like, "Okay." And I was really mad at her, but she's a victim too. And I learned something yesterday that was a valuable lesson to me, which is there's no part of them that doesn't believe this. I've always kind of hoped that maybe there's a suppressed voice deep down inside that knows this is bull. Maybe there's a little voice of reason in the back of their heads that's saying that they don't believe this, but that's not true. That's not true. She believes this. She's hook, line, and sinker swallows this, and she's willing to bet my dad's life on it, and he's willing to as well. So they took 5 chunks out of my dad's heart, and today is Thanksgiving, so we didn't get the results back today, but we are supposed to get them back tomorrow. So hopefully we will know exactly what's wrong with his heart tomorrow. If it's treatable, fantastic. He's going to have a round of kidney dialysis too. I don't know if that's going to be a forever kind of thing, because it seems like this is just happening because of the heavy meds he's been on and his heart. So once his heart gets fixed up, it looks like the kidney thing may kind of go away or get fixed. And let me think. Oh, okay. And last thing. So today, an HLC guy showed up. It's the first time that the HLC has been here since my first video. They were away pretty much every day, unless they were coming early in the morning. I haven't been there super early. I've been staying late. So one of them showed up today. And he comes into the room, and it's me and my stepmom and my grandmother and my uncle. And the first thing he says is, the new system is almost here. I just looked at him like, I think this is the same face I made. Just, oh God, that's your answer. That's the first thing he said. The new system is almost here. What the fuck kind of answer is that? That's not an answer. The new system has been almost here my whole life, and for like 100 years before that. It was amazing. It was amazing. And my family is standing around him nodding like, yep, yep, it's almost here. It's almost here. And I'm just... I went over to my dad's bed, and I just held his hand, and I just looked at him, and I just told myself over and over again, this is why you're here. You're here for him. You're not here for them. He has to have at least one rational, critically thinking person in his corner. He has to have at least one person in the room that is, if worst comes to worst, will stand up and at least say something. I can't stop this. I have no leg to stand on. I don't have any rights, but someone has to be here to say, to try to do the right thing. And that's just what I thought. I just looked at him, and even though I know that he doesn't want it, he doesn't want blood, he wants this HLC guy here, that's what he wants. He doesn't know what's best for him. These people do not know how dangerous this religion is. They don't know. You know, they've got it way up here. You know, they can't pull it back and be rational about it. They don't know what they don't know. You know, and none of us do. I don't know what I don't know. They just, I'm not even mad at them about it. They're victims, and they're victims of victims. And the whole situation is just sad. It's just sad. So that is what happened today. And I do have two good pieces of news. First good piece of news is he's gone from 10% heart function to 45% as of yesterday. And today he is breathing 80% on his own and only 20% on the machine. And when we heard that, we all started crying. It's amazing, the roller coaster ride of, you know, you come in the morning and it's just so depressing and sad. And one piece of good news you'll be elated, and you're just crying happy tears and hugging each other. And but he's not awake, and you know, it's just day by day. And this hospital is incredible. I'm gonna write them a really nice letter after all this. And all these people that came in on Thanksgiving, I tried to thank everybody, because my family isn't going to. They don't give a shit about Thanksgiving. They don't know how hard it is to leave your family on a holiday. So every nurse that came in, I told them, thank you for leaving your family today so that you can take care of my family, because that's hard. Anyway, that is the update, and I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm stretched to my limit sanity-wise with these witnesses. But when you get them talking about something that's not witness-related, you know, some of them are super nice. There's one couple that's come down from my mom and dad's, or my dad and my stepmom's congregation, who are two of the nicest people I've ever met in my life, and I enjoy them very much. You know, one of them has been texting me, do you need anything? You know, I don't want you to pay for any food. You know, I'll feed you. She's so nice. I'm just a doll. And I feel really sorry for them for being trapped in this cult, but I am very happy that they care about my dad and my stepmom so much. So that's my update, and I'm really sorry it's not happier. But I just wanted to let you guys know a little bit about what's going on. And thank you again for being in my corner. There's a lot more of us than there are of them. We're just not as well organized. So, thanks again. And when I will make another video, hopefully soon, with some better news. And thanks again, guys, for watching. Happy Thanksgiving, and take care. Bye.